It may have got, let me see. Can you hear me now? Yes. Okay. So because this is not my office and I can't lock the doors to this room, so people touch my stuff. So anyway, sorry about that. Thanks for telling me you couldn't hear me. So let's start over. Welcome. Welcome to our weekly style snack. Every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, I go live and share a style snack with you. And if you're new to my community, I want to say an extra welcome to you. We're so glad you're here, and I hope you'll feel comfortable jumping right in and participating. We're thrilled to have you, and this is a safe space. This is a kind space, and it's somewhere that you can step away from the chaos and craziness of life right now. And I think we all need that. I know I need it. So I hope you'll feel comfortable joining us, and I'm really glad you're here. And you may notice I'm in a different spot today. If you have been with me, this is not my office, is it? We are spending time with extended family, and that means it's not just my 6 kids. There are a lot of cousins around, and I had to go to a different room to get some quiet. Because that's just kids, right? And so I'll be in a different room for this week and the next as we enjoy spending time with family. So today, what I wanted to share with you is I get a lot of questions about the fashion rules. And what are the fashion rules? What are the rules that I should be following? And, I love rules. I love them. I love to learn the rules. I love to make lists of rules. I love to memorize the rules. I can recite them back to you. And then after I know all of the rules by heart, I love to break the rules. My love-hate relationship with dictates is a real struggle. I find them equal parts soothing and chafing. And when I used the word chafing, my husband said that was the wrong word, chafe. But I didn't use the wrong word. They rub, they irritate, they leave me raw as I struggle against them and what is holding me back from being me. Style is a form of self-expression, and we are each a walking billboard. And right or wrong, we judge each other based on our appearances because that's all we have initially. Our brains are not on display. Our thoughts, our feelings are not out there for everyone to see. And our appearance is the only thing people have to judge us by when they first meet us. But we can use our style and our outfits to put our personalities on display. So anyone who knows me knows I'm a force to be reckoned with. And you can see that just by looking at me. I don't have to open my mouth for you to know that I have opinions and ideas and solutions, and I'm not afraid to share them. My sharp edges are visible. My black and white thinking is practically out loud, and there is no doubt that I get things done. I'm bold, I'm serious, I'm busy, I'm not a lot of fun, and that's okay. And you can tell that just by looking at me. There is power in being authentic with myself and showing that through my style. You know what to expect from me, and no one is shocked when I open my mouth. But here's the trouble. How do you dress and be authentic when it doesn't go along with the style rules? What no one talks about is all these rules that are being hurled at us all the time are constantly changing. And they don't often apply to you or to me, but the lords of fashion insist that we do. We must comply. And so if you have a love-hate relationship with the rules the way I do, I have 4 fashion rules for you that always apply. So rule number 1 is review the style rules you do know. It is impossible to live in our modern society without being bombarded by fashion rules, whether they come from the media, from friends, from family, from your mom, from social media, the magazines. They're coming at us from everywhere. There are books, magazines, TV, movies, groups, clubs dedicated to telling us what these rules are. And your brain is swimming with the do's and don'ts of style dictated by others. And they often contradict each other, and they change constantly. And what was the rule last season is totally different this season, and the opposite. So how are you expected to win? So rule number 1 is review the style rules that you know. Rule number 2 is decide which rules you're going to follow and which rules you're going to break. You can't decide which rules to break if you don't know the rules. And that's why I want you to think about what you do know. Bring them out, because you're following them unconsciously, a lot of them. And if you can bring them forward to the surface, sorry, my hair keeps getting my eyes, to the front and identify them, you can decide whether you really do want to follow those rules or not. And, my whole business is about sharing ideas that I hope are helpful to you, but never telling you in concrete terms that this is right and that is wrong. My motto is, and I say this on a regular basis, if the rules don't work for you, ignore them. And that includes any ideas that you hear from me. Classic style and my ideas about classic style aren't for everyone, and that's okay. There are billions of ideas in the world, billions of great ideas and billions of terrible ideas in the world. And you will gain the most by taking what serves you and ignoring the rest. And so if some of the rules that you've learned help you, then use them. And the ones that don't can go in the discard pile. And that includes any ideas that you've heard from me. If you don't like it, then don't do it. I don't have any of those kinds of rules for you. And each one of us is unique, and no rule can possibly apply to every single one of us, other than keep your lady bits covered in public. Beyond that, I think there has to be flexibility and room for you as an individual. So rule number 3, and this is actually my number 1 rule, is wear what you love. If you love it, if you feel amazing in it, wear it and strut. It is okay to strut. And the only person who has to like what you're wearing is you. It's your body. They're your clothes, your money buying them. You need to like it. And, we obviously have, if you work somewhere, there will be standards that you have to maintain, right? If you want to keep your job. And if you go to school, there could be a dress code that you have to follow, and you have to use common sense about keeping your job by dressing appropriately for your job. But you're not at work all the time. And even within those parameters, you can choose what you want to wear. And even if you're wearing the most stylish outfit, runway ready, if you don't love it, if it doesn't feel right to you, if it doesn't suit you, you will feel terrible. You will not feel confident, and you definitely won't want to strut, and that outfit will wear you. So rule number 3 is wear what you love. Rule number 4 is make your own rules. Anyone can make up style rules. You don't have to be elected hired, certified, or in any way qualified to make up a style rule. So why not make your own? Designers, media, influencers, they're all making it up. I make it up. These are just my ideas. My ideas that I make up and I share with you. I hope they're helpful. If they're not, then just ignore them. But no one has any right to dictate what everyone should wear. Sure, I mean, there are design principles that help make things flattering and appealing, but designers don't always use those, or we wouldn't have suffered through hammer pants. Raise your hand if you remember hammer pants. And if you don't, or you somehow missed that, here you go. For your viewing pleasure, that's the female version of hammer pants. And there is nothing flattering about looking like your legs are 18 inches long and you have a poopy diaper that needs to be changed. Are these pants comfortable? Absolutely. Are they flattering? Absolutely not. And so designers do not ever, I mean, they don't always take these design principles meant to flatter and make things more beautiful into account when they're creating clothes. If these hammer pants make you feel like $1 million, you should absolutely wear them. But if you're talking about design principles and dressing to flatter a figure, this isn't it. And yet, these graced the bodies of many, many girls in my class. I never wore them. I just couldn't do it. But a lot of girls wore them and loved them. So did the boys. But as far as being flattering, that was not the goal here. You have to remember that the fashion industry's primary goal is not to make you look and feel your best. It's to sell you new clothes. And they can't do that unless they change the rules every season or two. By making you feel outdated, out of touch, and out of sync, they convince you that you need to buy new clothes to remedy the problem that they're creating. So I've created my own fashion rules that only apply to me. And they're always under construction because nothing is set in stone. By taking all the rules that I know and selecting the ones that apply to me, help me, make me look and feel my best, and discarding the rest, learning what I do and don't love, mashing it all up and creating my own unique fashion rules, that is how I have my own personal style. And it doesn't change a lot. There are trends that come and go that I always look at the trends, and if I like one and I feel like it suits my style, then absolutely I'll try it out and I'll wear it and enjoy it. And then if I continue to love it, even after it's no longer in style, I will continue to wear it. And if I get tired of it, then I'll stop wearing it. But I'll only do that if I choose it. I decide. And I have a free masterclass to get you started with figuring out what you do and don't like. It's called 5 Steps to Find the Right Clothes for You. It comes with a free workbook to take you through the steps at your own pace, so you're not trying to figure this all out while I'm talking. And you can go to your closet and work through these steps on your own. And once you understand your personal style, it's easy to identify the rules that help you and the rules that don't. And then you know what to ignore. And when you can see why you do and don't love or wear certain things, you can write your own style rules. And it's so liberating to be able to identify it, label it as helpful or not helpful, and easily make a decision whether you're going to participate in that rule or that style or that trend or not, and be confident in it. So, you know, learning style rules is beneficial. I have gotten things from them. Some of the rules are helpful and some of them are ridiculous. Some of them are steeped in practicality that hasn't existed in over 100 years, and society has changed, but the rule hasn't. And when you do know the rules, there is power in that. I spent years learning the rules created by others, following these and then those, and always feeling smothered and suffocated and wrong. But I did gain value from them because some of them I did like and I did keep, and I felt like they helped me look and feel my best. And now I can confidently get rid of the ones that don't, and I can confidently ignore the new ones as they come along that don't apply to me and say, yeah, no, that doesn't work for me. And I can also recognize that what doesn't work for me could be perfect for someone else. So I want you to think about your personal billboard. Do you like what it says? Is it really representing the authentic you? Is this the message that you want to send to the world? And if it is, congratulations. That's amazing. You clearly know a lot about yourself. And if it isn't, I hope that you can use these 4 rules and the free masterclass to help start to define that for yourself and make your billboard say something authentic about you. So this is a topic that's been on my mind a lot. It comes up a lot. I get asked about this a lot. It even came up talking to my sister and her husband last night. They had no idea I was talking about this today, but it came up and it comes up a lot. And so I hope this was helpful to you and it gives you some things to think about. And I'll share the link to my free masterclass if you want to get a head start and get going and thinking about what clothes really do and don't work for you and creating your own fashion rules. So I'm going to take a look at the comments. I'm going to skip all the ones that say that my microphone was muted or not plugged in all the way, and all the ones that say I am. Emily wants to know, any chance you'll share what lip color you're wearing today? Sure. So I use Lip Sense, and this is 2 coats of pink champagne, which is a pretty dead-on match for my skin tone, and then 1 coat of dark pink. But it's the old dark pink that had a little more brown in it. And so if you get the new dark pink, I've had luck by layering 1 coat of praline rose, I think, on top of it. So this is 2 coats of pink champagne, just kind of as a nude base, because I don't want 3 coats of the dark pink. That's too dark or too pink, or it's too something. And then 1 coat of the old dark pink, or 1 coat of the new dark pink and 1 of praline rose, I think, praline something. So yeah, it's this weekend my son was hurt pretty badly, and it was a scary few days, and he's doing fine now, and we know, he doesn't need surgery and what needs to happen, but there's so much going on. I mean, even beyond that, it's just been a super chaotic time in the world and in our personal lives. And I say all the time that when I cannot control the chaos going on around me, I can control the chaos on my body. And I just need quiet on my body today. And so I wanted a nude makeup look. Terry says, I love rules too, but find it hard to break them. Terry, I've been where you are, and I still struggle. I am a rule follower inherently. But once I understand the rules, I feel more confident choosing which ones I'm going to stick with, because I get to decide whether they apply to me and who's creating the rules. That's a huge one for me. who made up this rule and what is your authority level to do that? If there's a law and the government created this law and it feels like a just law, yes, I will obey that rule because the government has the authority to do that. And if I feel like it, I'm not going to dive into politics. If it were an unjust law that was harming people, then I would not obey that rule, right? But the people who make up style rules are literally just making it up. And they have ulterior motives. Their ulterior motives are not always to make you look and feel your best. So that makes it even easier for me to break the rules. But again, if you love the rules, then stick to them. That's a choice you get to make. Jean says, you are helpful and so supportive. Well, thank you, Jean. I appreciate that. That's my goal. That's my goal. I really enjoy feeling comfortable in my own skin. And I want that for you as well. And if what I share helps you get there, then I'm thrilled. And if it doesn't, I truly hope you can find someone who can share what will help you feel and look your best. Amy's here. She says, hi from Michigan. Karen remembers hammer pants. I'm so sorry. Jean says, hammer pants. I follow. Can't touch this. Yeah. I mean, they were super trendy. And trends can be a fun change, but oh man, that may be the worst ever in history. It wasn't the first time they actually came. MC Hammer did not invent hammer pants. They actually came about in the late 1800s when women were trying to get a little more fashion freedom and wear pants. And a New York socialite saw them in Swedish mental institutions, because it was easier for the patients to wear them and feel more comfortable and free movement. And it, anyway, so it's come and gone throughout the centuries, but it is not one that should come back. Joy says, I have finally discovered that I have 2 sets of rules. Oh, it bumped. Okay. Sundays and dress up date night I follow are my cute minimalist rules, and my work days are sporty practical work clothes. I was trying to mix the 2 occasions and only got frustrated. Yeah, I mean, not every part of our lives can we wear exactly what we want, can we? I try to explain this to my daughter all the time. I realize it's hot. We're all hot, but you do have to wear a shirt. We can work on what that shirt looks like, but shirts are required for all of us. So anyway, yeah, so certain parts of our lives do dictate part of what we wear, but even within that, we can find what we do love. Karen says, I need to do that class. Well, I hope you do. We'll add the link here in the comments so that you can sign up for that free masterclass. Suzanne wants to know, is the masterclass only for society members? Nope. It's for anyone. It's absolutely free, and so is the download. And if you do sign up to watch it and for some reason you miss the time that you signed up for, because that happens, you have a life, you will get an email with a link to watch the replay and download the workbook. So yeah, anyone can watch it. Marianne says, still learning and discarding rules. Well, and Marianne, it's possibly a lifelong process. The bulk of it can be done, but new rules are always coming. But once you truly understand what you do and don't love, it's so much easier to bat them away. That's not for me, instead of pulling it in and looking at it and breaking it down and doing that back and forth. Will I or won't I? Should I or shouldn't I? Can I or can't I? It's so much easier to say, no, I won't. I don't want to. And not another thought goes into it for me. Sandra says, thank you for guiding us and gaining confidence in our own personal style. It's been a tremendous help to me personally. Well, Sandra, you're welcome. And I am so glad it has been helpful to you. I think we all deserve to have our own personal style. Not one of us is the same. And style is just a great way to express your uniqueness. Peggy says, hi, hello. Suzanne wants to know how I sign up for the masterclass. It's in the comments here. It's stunningstyle.com/masterclass. Alessandra says the masterclass was great. Just did it on demand yesterday. Well, thank you, Alessandra. I appreciate that. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Patty says, hi. Hello, Patty. Sue says, fashion often reflects our political situations and vice versa, right? Hems going up or down and others. Yeah, it can. I mean, there's so much more to it than just colors and styles. It really can. Yeah, I won't, that's a whole other topic that I won't dive into, but it's true. And yeah, it is true. It reflects a lot. Suzanne says, I just wanted to share, I've been particularly noticing styles and colors of women in movies and TV. Yeah, it's really interesting. It's always what I'm following the plot, but I'm also looking at the costuming and the wardrobe. I especially enjoy watching period dramas and seeing that. Karen says she's going to check it out. Well, Karen, I hope you love it. Lori says our son was about 12 when the hammer pants trend spiked. He was a wrestler, and they were a godsend for his size that fit into no jeans. Oh, I can imagine. My husband was a soccer player, and when we got married, those wide leg carpenter jeans were really in style, and thank goodness for him, because he had a small waist but really muscular thighs, and the other jeans just wasn't working. So we were grateful for that trend at the time. So I can imagine. Rachel says, you won't regret it. I've actually watched it twice because it was so good. Well, thank you, Rachel. I appreciate that. That's quite a compliment. Terry says, you say you aren't fun, but your wit cracks me up. Well, I appreciate that, Terry. I have a very dry sense of humor, and that's not for everyone. I mean, I'm not the kind of, I'm not a silly fun person. I'm a very literal person. It's hard to make me laugh out loud. I like dry humor. I think work is fun. I think accomplishing things is fun. I think working in the garden is fun. Organizing is fun. My husband is fun. He's like for real fun. And so he'll be like, it's good that we got some stuff done this morning. The bathrooms are clean. And now we should go do something that's not project related with the children. And I'm like, what do you mean? We're all together. And don't you feel better about the bathrooms? And yes, but why don't we go, do something that other people think is fun? So I really am not a fun person, not in the traditional sense of fun, but thank goodness my husband is. He reminds me, he helps me. A Facebook user says, please show the masterclass. So the link is up above, and it's stunningstyle.com/masterclass, and you can sign up to watch it. Sandy says, hi from New Zealand. Hi, Sandy. Sandra says, what advice will you give a great plus size that is uncomfortable in shorts this summer? My legs are not the prettiest with my weight loss. Working on toning, but not there yet. Well, Sandra, if you're not comfortable in shorts and you personally don't feel comfortable in them, that's one thing. If you're not wearing shorts because you feel like someone else has told you you shouldn't wear shorts, because then I would look at it again. Because there are those messages someone somewhere along the way has told us we should or shouldn't do X, Y, and Z because of their own personal preferences and biases and motives. And it's really easy to take them to heart. I shouldn't wear black in the summer because it's depressing. Well, I don't care. I wear black all summer long because it's soothing to me. It's comfortable to me, and I love it. And I don't care if somebody else thinks it's depressing that I'm wearing black in 100-degree heat. I just don't care. But it's easy to take that message to heart. So I think I have a lot of thoughts on this topic. This probably isn't what you were asking for when you asked that question, but there's also just a lot of different, there are a billion different types of beautiful. And I hope that you can give yourself enough self-love to be kind to yourself when you're not feeling like you are less than perfect. We're all imperfect. So that's kind of my other answer. Are you asking for a different kind of pants? I would try some linen ankle pants. They'll be lightweight and breezy and cool, but give you the coverage you're looking for if you just aren't comfortable showing that much of your legs. So that would be an option. Marianne says, my humor is dry and twisted. Well, Marianne, I would probably enjoy your humor a lot. Alessandra says, you're speaking my language, April. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you can relate to this. Rachel says, yep, I love wearing black too, even in the summer. Yeah. So that's one of those rules that I've discarded, that I shouldn't wear black in the summer. Well, who decided that? I don't know, but it wasn't me. And so I decided I am going to wear black in the summer because I need it. I love it. I feel soothed, comfortable, confident, and calm in it. And nobody else gets to decide that for me. Sandra says, oh, thank you. Well, you're welcome, Sandra. We all have those things, we all have those things. And, I have a big, long scar on my knee from a surgery. And I've had people comment on my pictures on social media and say that I should keep my knees covered up because of that ugly scar. And I don't care. Why would that scar is a proof that I was stronger than something else, that I went through something hard and came out the other side. And that scar is part of me. I wouldn't take it off. I'm not going to cover it up. And I don't care what strangers on the internet who feel bad about themselves have to say about it. So each of us, and that's not my only personal hang up. We've all got them. So I understand that you have things that you feel self-conscious about. We all do. And this is advice I keep trying to give myself as well. Whenever I'm like, you know what? No, my body has done miraculous, amazing things. It's strong. It carries me through the days. It's given me 6 children. It's done this, and this. And there will always be signs of life on my body and your body and everybody's body. So it's a message I talk to my daughters and my sons about, and it's one I feel really, really strongly about. Jean says, nothing wrong with black in summer or white jeans in winter. I know. These are just rules, and I won't talk about the white in the winter. That's something I've gone into in other places, but that was based on dirt and practicality 150 years ago. So it's a rule that has carried over that no longer applies. LB says, scars are souvenirs you never lose. Yeah, from a trip I never wanted to take, but true. Yeah. Another Facebook user says, hello from Nashville. Suzanne says, amen. Scars are a proof of God's grace. Yeah. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. I hope this gave you some things to think about. And I would love to know what style rules you have chosen to follow or not follow, and why. I would also love to know what style rules you've made up for yourself and why. So let's share these and let's talk about them, and just recognize that a style rule that I have discarded does not mean you need to discard it. And a style rule I have adopted does not mean you need to adopt it, because mine are for me and yours are for you. And because we're all so unique, different rules will apply to different people in different ways. Yes or no. There's no right answer. So if you love hammer pants, rock them, strut in them, and be proud. Just because I don't like them doesn't mean that you can't. So as we're sharing these style rules that we've kept and discarded, I don't want anyone to take offense and say, well, but I like that one. This isn't about you. This is about that person's personal style rules that they have chosen to keep or not to keep, and not criticizing someone else and saying, but that's a terrible rule and nobody should, because that word nobody doesn't apply. Somebody should or can or will. So this is meant to bring up a conversation, to give us some things to think about. And you might recognize one of these rules as one that you've been unconsciously following and saying, oh my gosh, I do follow that rule and I love it. It makes me feel amazing. Or oh, I do follow that rule and I actually hate it. And why am I doing that? Or that's a rule I don't follow and maybe I should, because I think I would really like that. So that's what this conversation is meant to be about. It's not a contest. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about talking through your personal style rules, and there are no wrong answers. Another Facebook user says, I'm with you. I'm proud of my scars. It proves I've survived. Yeah, it does. I've got more than the one on my knee. Some of them you can see, and some of them, I had 4 C-sections. Most people don't get to see that scar, but it's big. And it means that I got these 6 beautiful children. So I'm not ashamed of that scar in any way. I'm thrilled with it. So Annette says, I'm looking forward to honing my own personal style. Well, good. This free masterclass will really get you started. I've heard from so many of you how much you loved it. So I want to thank you for joining me for this week's Style Snack. I always enjoy this midweek break with you. I hope you enjoyed it as well. And we're going to continue this conversation next week in a little bit of a different way. So I hope you'll join me next Wednesday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week.